Welcome to our midweek sharing time, devotion time, meditation time. I'm going to have to hold the microphone because I'm wearing a hoodie today that doesn't have a pocket, and I've been trying to clip it on. There's no place to clip it on, so I'm just going to hold the microphone today. And sometimes questions are as important as answers. So this week I don't have any answers for you. And I think I'm going to ask questions that there aren't easy answers for. So I'm going to ask you to kind of weigh these questions, think them over, just kind of look at them. Now, my guess is that an answer will immediately pop into your head and you'll think, that's not so hard. This is the way it should be. But I'm going to ask you to get past that. Think it through a little more deeply, a little more well-rounded, and wrestle with it a little bit. Don't just take an easy way out. Is it possible to build a legal code to govern a people that's not based on morality? Can you build a legal code without having a sense of right and wrong, good and evil, moral and immoral? Think about it a little while. My next question for us today builds off of the first one. Let's say that someplace behind the legal codes, there's a view that something is good or bad, or beneficial or not beneficial, or something is right and something is just wrong. And so we build laws for things that are just wrong. Now, my next question is it possible for a people to build a legal code assuming that some things are right and some things are wrong and some things need to be punished for and perhaps things need to be rewarded? Is it possible to build such a code without some sort of a worldview that designates some things as better than others? Here comes a tougher part of the question now, okay? I mean, wrestle with that idea for a little bit. Is it possible to build a legal system that's not based on ethics of some sort? And is it possible to have a system of ethics of some sort that has not got a foundational worldview of some sort or the other behind it? That brings me this question. In a society like ours, where things have been turned kind of upside down as far as traditional morality, and by that I mean that there are things that were considered immoral when I was a child that are considered commonplace and protected today, and there are things that were considered normal when I was a child that are considered to be abnormal and bad today. I mean, we can think about it a little bit, find if that is true, and if there are things, all it would take would be pointing out this and this and this used to be something which is considered bad, today it's not, and this and this and this used to be considered okay, and now it's not. So then the question I have is not whether or not we are more enlightened or more woke than previously we were, but is it possible that what has happened is one worldview with its ethical codes that go down to its legal codes has supplanted or is in the process of supplanting another worldview that contains a different worldview with a different set of moral codes and a different set of legal codes? And so what we've done is not really opened up more or less, legal codes. I mean, we still have them, and we still have punishment, and we still have rewards, just a different set of codes based on a different view of ethics, based on a different worldview. Okay, I think I'm giving us quite the bit of a brain teaser today. it's good for us, I guess, to think through. And I'm not saying this is or isn't happening. I'm just, asking the question, which probably needs to be asked. I have a definition here on my cell phone. I looked up the word agnostic, and it says a person who believes that nothing is known or can be known of the existence or nature of God or of anything beyond material phenomena. A person who claims neither faith or disbelief in God. That is, maybe there's a God, maybe there's not a God. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. Doesn't make that much difference anyway, because there's a lot of things we can know, and we need to work with those. Is it possible that we have replaced a biblically based or theologically based, theistically based worldview with an agnostic worldview? Okay, I'm almost done asking brain teasers, but one more, maybe two more before we go. The next one is it possible that people are not turning away from God today? They're just embracing a worldview that they've been taught since they were young. That we have, while individual families kind of hold on to some of the older school type thoughts, we as a culture have embraced a different worldview, and that is the worldview people grow up with today. If that's true, the next question, what should we do with that knowledge? Well, I just have more questions than answers for you today, but let me give you one answer as a starting place. If this little conversation starter gets you kind of riled up, the first thing you do isn't go and attack me or to give me a pat in the back and say, hey man, brothers, preach it. The first thought would probably be, think it through. Ask for God's wisdom. Ask for God's guidance. Because in the end, it doesn't matter I suppose it matters, but it's not as influential as to what yesterday's generation's views were as it is the here and now, and how we as Christians need to respond in our culture, at our time. And that may take a little bit of deep thinking. May God bless you, and may God give you wisdom, and may God give you courage.